All right, so with that, I wanted to give you an update on the Alumni Association. It's a great pleasure to see you all here today, and without a doubt, you guys are our most loyal alumni volunteers. And as you've heard throughout the morning, and I think throughout yesterday, and most of you here, I'm sure this is not your first ALC, but I think you, with all the presentations we've had, all the engagement, you know that you're vital to the vitality of MIT. And so with that, thank you. I always enjoy the Alumni Leadership Conference for the opportunity to reconnect. Usually at the ALC, I'll see someone that I haven't seen for 20, 30, I'm just approaching my 35th reunion, so I guess 34 years ago. And so it's wonderful to see all of you. It's another similar favorite is the annual commencement and reunions. How many of you have been to a recent commencement? Wow, that's wonderful. How many of you have watched the commencement on the video that's taken? Yeah, I've done that as well when I'm curious about the speaker. It's wonderful to have that. At Killian Court, the red-jacketed alumni connect with fresh faces of new graduates. Everyone's excited. No doubt you all can still feel the energy of the day yourselves. The pride of our traditions, connecting the past with the future. There's really nothing quite like it. As I've said many times, it's all about the people for me. Can you tell I'm an extrovert? It's the profound relationships you build and develop during your time volunteering for MIT. It's rekindling of old friendships. It's establishing new ones. It's celebration of the love of MIT we all in this room share. The Alumni Association Board understands that it's our charge to serve as stewards of this meaningful dedication of MIT to MIT and of those relationships you share with one another and with MIT. And so we are so grateful to have all of you as partners in this important mission. During reunions, I was passed the gavel from Nicholas Shamas, and I'm delighted to serve as your 123rd President of the Alumni Association. I want to thank Nicholas for his service and for his partnership as I move forward into my presidency. Partnerships are critical to our work, and it was the spirit of collaboration that led to a wonderful 2016-2017 year filled with so many high points. Perhaps the best way to begin to share the story with you is by illustrating by the numbers. I think all of you in this room love numbers, I'm guessing. All right. We begin with 136,079, which as of June 30th is the number of MIT alumni living around the world today. 53% of that population is comprised of graduate degree-only alumni. 47% is made up of undergraduates. If you've been paying attention over the last few years, you'll note that the graduate alumni numbers are growing. Just a few years ago, the split was 50-50, and as we know, given the current student makeup and distribution, this percentage of graduate-only alumni is growing amongst our alumni body. So many MIT alumni living across the globe correlates naturally to infinite opportunities for engagement. To that end, the association, its clubs, classes, and groups hosted more than 1,220 events last year, attended by more than 57,000 individuals. Now, this is the number that has been tracked by the association. I am guessing there are many more of informal gatherings that happen that may not be tracked in the same way. So that's exciting as well. This number represents 15% increase in attendance over the previous year. Perhaps the most exciting event of all were the worldwide MIT Campaign for a Better World events. And so many of you in this room have been to one of those events. They were held in 8 cities. These road shows saw record alumni attendance. I think they were all sold out well before the deadline date. I actually happened to go to the one in DC and saw how fabulous it was. So I sent an email to all my friends in the Boston area saying, you better sign up right now, because if you wait till the end, you're not going to get in. So many of them did that. I think it was that type of event. For those of us who still live close to MIT, the event, as Whitney said, there's one September 28th at the Wang Center. Hopefully all of you on social media noticed that our very own Tim the Beaver was an honored guest on the worldwide tour as well, making stops in all the cities. I think Whitney shared that. She has young children, and her youngest is a little afraid of Tim the Beaver, but it was mainly adults in the room. I know you've been all collecting your passport stickers so that you can take home your very own Tim at the end of the conference today. I think this is the last time I might say something about that. Okay. In terms of our signature MIT alumni events, Tech Reunion saw a number of new activities this year, from Family Maker Fair to the Pops Encore Party, which attracted more than 1,000 revelers. Moving Pops to Friday after commencement gave greater opportunity for new graduates and young alumni to take part, and the event was a sold-out smash. So it really, I think we had seen the numbers for Tech Night at the Pops when it was on Thursday night decline, and it was sold out on Friday. So kudos to the staff and the group that moved the event, and it was, I think, a seamless transition, and in fact was a much better event. Reunions drew 3,586 alumni and guests, the 4th highest reunion attendance on record. The association continued its investment in support of expanding career resources and events. In addition to the popular virtual career fairs, how many have participated in the virtual career fairs? So that's a little less, yes. And career lunch and learn programs, which attracted more than 12,000 participants. We also launched the new MIT Alumni Advisors Hub, a dynamic online platform where alumni and students will find volunteers offering to share their knowledge and make a difference. Those seeking career advice can find alumni willing to critique resumes, conduct mock interviews, and have career conversations. The hub provides an easy, quick, and convenient way to make these connections. The association continues to support the MIT Parents Association with Family Weekend and other great services and events. We had our first official alum parents gathering at the Muddy Charles, which was a fabulous event. As a parent of a current MIT student myself, I'm excited to be able to reach out to my fellow families and to help them engage in the MIT community. In fact, I was delighted to host a coffee hour with alumni parents of incoming freshmen last month during orientation, and it's great to get together with people at a like stage in life. Can someone take a guess at how many alum parents there were in the freshman class this year? What's your guess? 200? 40. Okay. It was 60. I was actually surprised. 60 now. Some of them are dual parents, so not all. There weren't 60 freshmen, but quite a lot. Through all of these activities and events, volunteers like each of you have played a central role. Our volunteer programs numbers are strong, both with our long-standing programs like clubs, classes, and groups, and with new initiatives such as formation of MIT Club Councils and the Graduate Alumni Council. Last year was the first full year of the Graduate Alumni Council, working in tandem with working group of Board of Directors. They completed a year-long data collection effort made recommendations on graduate student and alumni engagement, and plan to put it into action this year. The MIT Educational Council increased the number of alumni interviews to 5,400, the largest single group of volunteers for MIT. I think this has to do, as we all know, with the increasing number of applicants and the interest in MIT. They conducted more than 17,000 interviews. ECs include alumni from classes of 1941 all the way up to 2017. Being an EC is a hard job, and so many of you do this work with such dedication and commitment. We really appreciate you. I just want to say I was an EC for the first time a year ago, and I found that I had to really perform because you get graded. So I took my job super seriously. This year, we also had many volunteers support a brand new initiative, the MIT 24-Hour Challenge on Pi Day in March. This was MIT's inaugural Giving Day. We started the day with a healthy but conservative goal to get 1,500 donors. And with a blizzard in Cambridge and all over the Northeast, resulting in MIT being closed, and you know that that doesn't happen very often, and many of our on-site plans canceled. Nevertheless, we were so delighted when we got 6,000 donors and $3.8 million raised. Let's give a round of applause. I want to note that our Sloan alumni were particularly successful during the day, having a challenger who was willing to increase her gift each time their alumni met and exceeded their goal. Overall, of the 24-hour challenge contributors, more than 2,000 were first-time donors, and every micro-challenge throughout the day, from crew to IRDF, met its goal. Fantastic. I want to thank all of you who not only gave generously, but also made peer-to-peer solicitations and encourage your classmates and friends to give back to their alma mater. Whether you worked for reunion giving, student campaigns like the Senior Gift, MIT 10, or the 24-hour challenge, you all shared your passion for supporting MIT, helping to achieve many records. And at the end of the year, at the year end, we did set a record for dollars raised with $81,966,675 raised. We were up in dollars by 8% over the previous year. While we didn't quite make our donor goal, we did achieve an impressive 44,031 donors with a 26% alumni participation rate. So let's work this year on beating that number. Online engagement is also critical to our success, and I'm pleased to say our MIT Alumni Association virtual channels have increased to now include Instagram and Snapchat, and our outreach to alumni, students, and friends through social media has continued to grow and outpace our Ivy Plus peers. The association's Slice of MIT blog recorded nearly 500,000 unique views, with the most popular story of the year featuring the election of Ricky Rosello, class of '01, as governor of Puerto Rico. I just wanted to share last year, I had suggested a story, so I want to encourage you, if you think there's a great Slice story, to talk to someone at the Alumni Association, Brian Gear, who's head of strategic marketing and communications, Whitney, myself. I had a friend of ours who had a really fascinating story of his writing related to his father passing away on 9/11 as one of the first responders. And that was the story that was in Slice on 9/11 this year. So it was very moving to see the story, but also just highlighted to me that we all as alums can contribute and share with the broader audience these wonderful stories about our peer alums. All right. Our thoughts are, of course, with Ricky Rosello and our alumni throughout Texas, Puerto Rico, and the Caribbean and Florida as they deal with the effects of Hurricane Harvey and Irma. Last year, we also expanded our mobile-based events information app through Guidebook. How many of you have that on for this ALC? Fantastic. So we have them for the ALC, Family Weekend, reunions, and the Pie and Mole reunions, which were celebrated in Las Vegas. And last year at ALC, we announced a fabulous platform for peer-to-peer interactions called MIT Switchboard. And I remember I've been wanting this for a long time. And so how many of you have know about Switchboard? How many of you have used it? So we think there may be a few of you here who are sharing housing for the ALC. There were several posts about that. So please help us promote Switchboard to your clubs, classes, and groups. It's an open platform. You can ask anything. I wish it was there when a friend who is a classmate of my husband's, who lives in Denmark, wanted to find a host family for his high school son who was coming to the US for a year of study. That would have been a wonderful way to find an MIT host family. But now, if you have those kinds of requests, you can do that. So all of these wonderful points that I've highlighted add up to one big, tremendous year for the MIT alumni community. And for all that each of you did to make this year a year to remember, we in the Alumni Association offer you an equally tremendous thank you. Now that we've covered looking back, it's time for us to turn our focus ahead to our plans for making 2017 and 2018 an even greater year. I was happy to participate in the search committee for our new association CEO, and I'm thrilled that Whitney Espick is already on board and able to share in the ALC excitement in her official capacity. So thank you. So I think I've been working with Whitney for about, 3 weeks or so since the announcement, and I just want to tell you from my heart that I'm so super excited, and I think it's going to be a fantastic year. I want to thank Don Shobris, class of '75, for his leadership of this important committee. I don't know if Don's here. I'm also delighted to be working with this great group of my fellow board members. Serving as a member of the Association Board of Directors is an important commitment to the future of our association and to our community. I'd like to now ask that all board members stand and be recognized. So the people in the red border are new board members this year. If you could all stand up. I hope that each of you in the audience will take time today to talk with a board member and share your aspirations for your volunteer accomplishments in the year ahead. And also share what you'd like to see as changes and improvements in the future. In particular, I'd like to acknowledge the board's president-select, CJ Whelan. This year, CJ will be tapping into his outstanding leadership skills to co-chair the ad hoc Committee on Data Analysis, which is casting a special spotlight on the data volunteers need to improve their performance and alumni satisfaction. Thank you, CJ. CJ? Thank you, CJ, for all that you will do this year and in the next when you take office. Is there anybody here from Centennial, Colorado? If you know anyone, so CJ is running for mayor of Centennial, Colorado. So, I would also like to note that the board is continuing in its efforts including student voices around our table, and we have 2 current students participating on the board. Sarah Melvin, who is the Undergraduate Student Association president, and Sarah Ann Goodman representing the Graduate Student Council. On Thursday's meeting, we were able to talk to Sarah, who had been, she was the president of Senior House last year, and she shared with us her perspective, which was so valuable. Of course, we've only just begun the year, and there's a lot to do ahead. The board will be continuing our work on our strategic framework, focusing attention on data, and of course, supporting the Institute through the Campaign for a Better World. In addition, we have lofty objectives for overall engagement of alumni, students, and friends, and we can't do it without you. To date, 70% of living alumni have been engaged with the association in some way during the campaign, and our goal is to reach 85% by the campaign's end. Rest assured, everyone in this room has already been counted toward the progress. We want to charge you to help us reach the 85%. Many of the people we need to reach don't have email addresses on record. Many are graduate students who are newer into our group, and so we need to help focus on those cohorts to bring them into the Alumni Association activities. So it's critical that each of you think innovatively about reaching out to people you know and to people you don't yet know and encourage them to reconnect. In fact, President Reif has begun to share an inspirational new vision for alumni illustrated here. He believes that alumni are the conduit, the key connection between the Institute and the world. If we connect MIT alumni not only to the campus and to each other, but also to the worldwide community of learners, solvers, innovators, we can expand far beyond our alumni numbers to become millions of people connected with MIT and working with us to make the world better. As alumni, we are central to this vision and to the Institute's mission of education, research, and innovation. The vision is not complete. I challenge you as you continue your own learning and working today to discuss and build upon this vision. As a group, I have confidence in our ability to have tremendous impact. To quote my predecessor, Nicholas Shamas, I know we can soar even higher. Thank you.